rookie mistake. I left the YouTube thing open on my screen. How are we doing? It's the first time I've been live in a while. I'm sorry I've not been here in so long. And I know that I posted last week and said I'm not going to be live on Thursday, but I'll try and go live at some point over the weekend. Didn't happen. So yeah, the reason I didn't go live last, I've just seen something on my computer I wasn't expecting to see. I'm going to work out what that is. I didn't go live on Thursday because Sandy was down in Birmingham over the weekend for a competition that he was playing in. So he left on Friday morning. So I wanted to have Thursday evening with him. Aside from, just spending the evening together, he was kind of nervous and stuff. So it was just nice to spend the evening with him, So that was why I didn't go live on the Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, because I was off on Monday this week, I thought I would have time. I probably should have had time to go live, to join you all at some point. But I ended up, I spent a lot of time cleaning and tidying my house, to be honest. And it feels great having like a nice clean house. And like anytime there's been any mess now, I'm like, get that cleaned up. So, yeah, anyway, random stream of consciousness to start with, as per usual. How are you guys all doing? Are we all doing okay? I've just seen Robin at the bottom saying he can't stay, so I can't stay. Wanted to say hi. Chores need doing, but I'll watch back later. Happy to catch you before I go on out. Well, thanks very much for saying hi, Robin. It's nice to see you. It feels like I've not seen you in ages, so I hope you're doing okay. Let's say hi to the folks that are here. Simon's here. Hi, Simon. This is now then. Elspeth is here. Hi, Elspeth. And Tony. Scott. Hi, Scott. Hopefully going to catch Scott over the weekend. Roscoe. Of course, Robin. is here as well. What are we all drinking? I've actually got like a non-alcoholic strawberry and lime flavoured cider. I got this because it's actually sounds. I really like the taste of cider. And I got it for having through the week. I thought it sounded nice, and it is really nice. It's actually delicious. But it was from Lidl. Can I show label? Oh, fuck it, I'll do it anyway. So that's what I'm drinking. Oh, it's vegan and gluten free as well. Who knew? It's actually delicious. So it's... But it's freezing here this week. It's been absolutely Baltic, particularly the last couple of days. So I've also got a nice hot cup of tea to keep me warm, and I'm wearing a hoodie too. But I usually get really warm when I'm doing these lives, so I might shed the hoodie. Who knows? If I start removing layers. Scott's drinking a spiced apple and vanilla tea. Nice. I'm not personally a fan of flavoured teas, but it does sound delicious in theory. Yeah, strawberry and lime, Robin. It's beautiful. I was expecting it to be strawberry and kiwi. That's usually the kind of the flavour of cider that you get. Ricotta like do a nice strawberry and kiwi cider. Simon's got 10 candles lit, so nice and warm. Fair enough. Tony's drinking lemon and ginger tea. Very nice. And grape flavoured coffee. What? Grape flavoured coffee? I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sure it's... If you're drinking it, then you must enjoy it, but that sounds unusual. Hi, Debbie. Robin finally had his first pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks. It was okay, but I think I like chai latte better. My fall drink. Very nice. Yeah, great. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks it's weird. Roscoe's drinking Fanta. Now, grape flavoured Fanta is delicious. Just get back from Greece holiday and have had enough alcohol to last a while. Oh, fair enough. Whereabouts in Greece were you? Simon says, I made the mistake of eating black grapes and then drinking a mug of coffee. I don't recommend. Oh, so it's not specific grape coffee. It was an accident. Right, okay, I've got you. I wanted to do some plugs for some stuff. So my friend Errol, who I've talked about before, I'm going to put a wee link to his link tree in the chat. And that has links to his YouTube and his Twitch and all the various other things that he's on. So I was saying that Sandy was down playing in a competition over last weekend at Birmingham. So it was a game called Lorcana that I've talked about before. It's a Disney trading card game, kind of like the Pokemon cards, but it's like Disney characters. And it's a specific game that you play with it. So a lot of Errol's content, Errol plays Lorcana with Sandy. That's how they know each other. And a lot of his content is, he's a Lorcana content creator. He's really good. His stuff's really good, really enjoyable to watch. So if you're a trading card game type person, then definitely check Errol out. He's a really nice guy as well. So he is. He's asked Sandy and I to be godfathers to his daughter, Yumi, who is a wee cutie. But definitely check him out. Subscribe to him if you can. Because it'd be good for him to get his numbers up. I think we've kind of talked about doing some content together because he's quite interested in what I do here, and he quite fancies getting a card reading off me. So he likes the idea of like creating something, together with us both. So definitely keep an eye on him because you might see a familiar face appearing at some point. Let's see. Roscoe was at Rhodes. Very nice. Lovely. Gerald is here. Driving, lurking, whilst drinking watered down coffee. Oh, watered down coffee. I don't know if I like the sound of that. I'm very judgy of people's drinks tonight, aren't I? Considering that I'm drinking non-alcoholic cider. Jonathan's here as well. Hi, Jonathan. How are you doing? The other plug that I wanted, so my wee brother's fiance, essentially my sister-in-law, has just, this is for people that are local, I guess, folks that are local to me, to Glasgow. His fiance has just like bought over a spa type bit. It's like a wellness spa. I was at Sunday night? It was Sunday night. I was at a kind of a wee opening party thing there in the evening. So we got to kind of have a look around and got some cakes, some sandwiches and stuff. It was really good. So it was, and the spa looks absolutely fantastic. I say spa, it's a salon upstairs, so there's like a hairdresser's upstairs. Downstairs there is like all sorts of kind of a spa treatment rooms and stuff. She's even got it's one of those sensory deprivation tank things, which I definitely need to try at some point. Has anyone ever done that? No worries, Roscoe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Has anyone ever done one of those sensory deprivation things where it's like salt water in the tank and closes the lid over, and it's just complete darkness and silence. I quite like the idea of it. I'm not claustrophobic or anything, and like apparently it doesn't. Well, I want to say it doesn't set off claustrophobia. That's a very general comment to make, but one of the people that was there at the thing was saying that they are claustrophobic, but when they tried it and they didn't feel claustrophobic at all. So yeah, the only reason I'm saying that is if anyone wants to try it but is like, oh, I can't because I'm claustrophobic, then maybe like give it a chance. You might find that you enjoy it. Robin, got to run down to my mailbox on the way out. My latest 2 decks have arrived. Tarot, the Hearts, and Star Maiden Tarot. Hugs to everyone later. See you later, Robin. Enjoy your new decks. Jonathan has finished his cup of tea, frankincense, white tea, and lemon peel. Nice. Right, before I forget, let me see if I can find a link to Revitalize. Let's see. Thank you. I think this is a... Yeah, this is it. So it's salonrevitalize.com. I will pop a link in the chat. So anyone who is local to Lenzie, Glasgow, Kirkintilloch, definitely check out Salon Revitalise. She's only just opened it and she's already like fully booked, you know, for like a couple of weeks or something. So she's doing, you know, she's going to do really well. This is weird because I'm looking at the website and not you guys. Also, if you're, you know, you're going to be visiting Glasgow at some point, then bear it in mind. So Elspeth really wants to try it. So there's Tony. Just heard the doggo. I didn't even hear her. I'm not used to them making noises now, that unless they're really barking. But yeah, they're quite vocal sometimes. Tried a sensory deprivation tank some years ago. I found it pleasant, but nothing special. I prefer a soak in the tub at home. See, I don't like the bath at home, neither I do. But I don't have a bath in my house. And I don't tend to enjoy baths in general. There's Deanne. Hi, Deanne. How you doing? The other thing I wanted to quickly say is I, along with the lovely Marion, who's been here several times, and Sarah from Tarot by Peachy, who I've bought decks from lots of times and talked about, and Mary. Mary's been in the chat a couple of times. Mary and I read at these Glasgow Witchy Bazaar events, and there's another one this Sunday. So Mary and I are both going to be reading at it, and Marion and Sarah are both going to be selling at it. And Marion will also, there's a wee fly at me. Marion will also be doing a talk, a Coven Corner talk, which I am blocking out time in my schedule for because I want to listen to that. So yeah, if you're local, I realise a lot of my announcements tonight are for folks that are local, but if you are local, then it would be lovely to see you. So pop in and say hi. Scott, I know that I'm going to see you there. I'm excited for that. Moran is here. Hi, Moran. How you doing? Says hi, Chris. Hi, chat. Hope you're all okay. We are good, thank you. How are you doing, Moran? You doing all right? How's your week been? And how's Oreo? Excited for the bazaar. Me too. That was all the public service announcements I had. I've not even prepared a tarot deck to flip through. I'm trying to remember, what was it? It was the manga tarot I did last time, wasn't it? Yeah. Done. Preparation done. And this is one that's not open, so it'll be in order. So we're on to the Runic Tarot. The Runic Tarot. So does anyone have this? Do you like it? Do you use it? Do you read with it? Do you not like it? Are you indifferent? What's folks' thoughts on the Runic Tarot? Okay. So I'm just taking away the kind of tightly cards. Audio is good, thanks. My week was one of these weeks, but we survive and we thrive. That's what we like to hear, Moran. Simon's got to check his live app to see if he's got it. That's funny. Let's see. So let me just zoom in a smidge and I'll get you some light. There we go. You don't have it? Right, okay. I think it's having an Earth Tarot. I think it's the same, like, the same style, the same, what am I trying to say? Like the way that it's boxed up and stuff. It kind of puts me in mind of that. These are the backs. So as you would expect, it's got a Norse theme to it. High Priestess is quite nice. Empress. Very maternal Empress. An interesting mix of runic systems. Yeah, I suppose he's got a proper rune on his belt, but the letters are just stylized to look runic, I think. Sorry, my phone was gone off in my pocket. I just had to check. Sandy's out just now, so I just had to check it wasn't him messaging to say I can't get out of the house or something like that. Deanne does not have this. Runic Tarot was one of my earlier decks. I was just learning and I found some of the cards tricky. Okay. The Lovers. Interesting. Chariot. Strength. That's quite a nice strength card. Hermit, very dark. Very dark. I'd almost say that looks more like a devil card. Maiden, Mother and Crone for the Wheel of Fortune. The spread that I've got is based on the Wheel of Fortune, by the way. Justice. The Hanged Man. See, hang on. Those fucking skis. Why on earth? Like, surely the Hanged Man is Odin hanging from the World Tree. It looks like it's Thor with his hammer. He's got skis. Je ne comprends pas. Death. Scott's saying, spot the rune. Temperance. Dogs just both ran at the same time there. Devil. That's quite cool. The Tower. The Star. Unusual for a star card. The Moon. Everyone's fighting. Everyone's fighting with each other. The Sun. Judgment. Thanks, man. I think if you're going to do it, then do it right. Do you know what I mean? The World. Again, strange World card. Oh, hey, Naomi. How are you doing? Simon says, I watched a fascinating video on YouTube. Our Latin alphabet doesn't really fit our English language, however, our previous runic one does. Interesting. There you go. Learn something new every day. My version didn't have borders and was more grey in tone. Okay. It might just be the way that the light's picking up the colours, to be fair. Got to live up to the myth of Viking violence. Yeah. But then explain the skis to me on the Hanged one. Quite a masculine energy to the deck. Yeah, I guess. I've got a really, really nice Norse tarot deck that if anyone's interested in kind of a Norse themed, I would recommend. In fact, I'll show you. It's this one, Odin's Playbook by Daniel Norman. Love this deck. I bought that, like I saw a couple of minutes of a walkthrough of that and I went for it, and I never do that. I'm always someone who, watches walkthrough upon walkthrough, thinks it over, all of this kind of thing. But with that, I just went for it. Absolutely stunning tarot deck. And it's quite cool the way it's put together as well. I realise that I'm talking about one deck whilst I'm showing you another. But yeah. Oh, sorry, it's not very good, is it? Those two cards are quite similar, aren't they? They both have a kind of a feast party type energy about them. That's the cup suit as well. Hi Sandra, how are you? Page of Cups, Knight. Some positive results and continuing with treatment. Oh, that's amazing, Naomi. I'm really pleased to hear that. The Queen of Cups. And the King. There's dolphins in the clouds. To save for later. Oh, thank you. This is so shields or discs, pentacles. Definitely saving this. I love videos about languages and how it evolved. Yeah, Sandra, I'm good, thank you. I'm glad it's Thursday as always. Glad it's the weekend. Though I think I'm maybe going to sign on tomorrow and do some work. We'll see how productive I'm feeling. That's random for a Four of Pentacles, isn't it? Like, it looks like everything's on fire. Doesn't really scream like physical security, does it? Because the deck is generally following a kind of a Rider theme, a Rider-Waite-Smith theme, but that yeah, that was unusual. Trying to hold these in a way where the light doesn't catch them or doesn't like gloss off them. Page, Knight, Queen, and King. Because it's a new deck, the cards are really slippery. Which I shouldn't complain about because I do like decks to be nice and slidey. The book explains the reasons they did what they did. I have the deck, but I don't use it. Yeah, to be honest, I've got lots of decks like that. One deck that I don't use that I've decided I want to make myself use is Anaturian's Arthurian tarot. You know what I mean? Claire Duval and Anaturian did the artwork. The Arthurian tarot. And I think the reason I've not used it more is because there are a few cards. In fact, it's right there. So it is. So I can show you the cards that I'm talking about, but there's some cards in it where I just don't like. Again, it is quite Rider-Waite-Smith themed in terms of how the images are portrayed, but there's some that I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see how that's like for example, the Seven of Swords, I think, is one of them. It just doesn't look like a Seven of Swords. And I know there will be reasons that will be linked to the Merlinian tales or the Arthurian, the legends and stuff. And I just don't understand the stories well enough to know what's happening. And all I need to do is read up on, read it up on in the book, which is fine. So I've separated out all of the cards that I don't quite get, or maybe I get a wee bit, but I'd like to know more. And I'm going to make a point in doing that. I might do that at some point over this weekend if I get time. Very Gandalf the Grey. This 10 of Wands. And again, I'm talking about one deck whilst I'm showing you another, which I know isn't very helpful for you. The wands are really nice on this. Let me sit back. I feel my upper back going all funny because I'm sitting forwards. Raise these a wee bit. Move myself forward. Sorry, don't mind me. Just talking to myself. Right. Queen of Wands. King of Wands. So that just leaves us with the swords, doesn't it? Jonathan says, yeah, I'm the same way with the Tarot Arthurian, but the other reason is because I have the Tarot of Echoes for my Anaturian fix. Yeah, I don't have the Tarot of Echoes. I'm going to wait until it comes out mass market to get it. But I think even then, even when I get that, I'll still want to use the Tarot Arthurian because that's a beautiful deck. It's a really nice image. Feels like the camera's not picking it up very well. Sandra says, I have so many decks on my wish list at the moment, it's not even funny. 2 Simon showed recently, will be going on there too. Can't afford any at the moment, but hopefully soon. Yeah, I know that feeling. Eight of Swords. That'll be Sandy home. 9 of Swords. Quite unusual for a 9. Looks more 10 of Swords to me. And then the 10. It's just an old gnarled tree in a graveyard. It's a nice image. Don't know if it necessarily gives me 10 of Swords vibes. Either the traditional kind of a complete bottom point, or the combination of the mindset kind of a idea. Page. She looks quite badass. The Knight. How are you finding Pathwork Oracle? Well, it only just came yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, only just came yesterday, Simon. So I've had a look through it, but I've not actually used it yet. Again, the artwork is stunning. The actual titles on the cards, I think I'll need to see how it is when I use it. For anyone who's not got it and hasn't used it, the Pathwork Oracle, in fact, do I have it here? I do. I'll show you what I'm meaning. So, hey. No, I'm fine, thank you. The Pathwork Oracle, so it's Anna Turin's usual beautiful style of art. So, but the first bunch of cards, so loving kindness for self, for loved ones, for difficult people, and for all sentient beings, and then compassion for self, loved ones, difficult people, all sentient beings, and sympathetic joy for self, loved ones, difficult people, all sentient beings, and equanimity. And then it moves on to like something different. So you've got like breath. There's 2 breath cards. So find your breath and stay with your breath. Forgive me. I forgive you. I forgive myself. Rest. And then the mudras, there's 6 of them, which correlate to 6 of the chakras, which is fine, but there are 7 chakras. Body, speech, mind, then sila. I don't know how to say that, but it means non-violence. Ahimsa. Dana. Sunyata. So I'm not sure how well I'm going to gel with how the cards have been titled. Nonetheless, that doesn't mean anything. The artwork is absolutely stunning. I am looking forward to seeing how I go with it. Definitely going to give it a good go. The backs are lovely. Cardstock is perfect. So we shall see. How are you finding it, Simon? What do you think? And does anyone else have that deck, and what do you think of it? Hi, Jen. How are you? It's really nice to see you. Midnight Unicorn, hi there, how are you? I'm still on a self-imposed deck buy and ban, and yet still adding decks to my wish list. The struggle is real. Wait till you see Curious Travels. I just really love the Tarot of Echoes. One I'd even considered calling a soul deck. Oh, that's really nice. It's nice to find one like that. That will be going on my wish list, I know, before I even watch your video. Still need to get the Pathwork Oracle, says Jonathan. I also don't need to see Curious Travels before adding it to the list. The legend says Sandra's wish list can be seen from space. Very much meditation inspired. Yeah, so this is I should really say that, shouldn't I? Like, it is based on a particular system that I know not. I have no knowledge of whatsoever. So I've got a bit of a cheek to turn around and start saying, oh, I don't understand that, and I don't know why that's there, because obviously I don't, because I've never worked with that system before. So, but I guess it's good to know for anyone who anyone who's thinking about getting it. Let's see. Love the Curious Travels deck, says Jonathan. I have the indie and the mass market because I love it so much. Only used it last night, says Simon, and the night before as late back tonight, but I love it. Oh, that's good. That's really good. I'm glad to hear that. Cool. Was I going to show you anything else? I wasn't going to show you anything else, but I was going to. So, something I have been doing this week, controversial topic, right? But something I have been doing is working with reversals. Reversals, what do we all think? And I've seen that Marion's just popped in right at that point. Hello, ESS. That stands for Emotional Support Scorpio, which is what I am to Marion. Simon, well, I knew you were going to say that. No, I've actually quite enjoyed it. So one that, and this is just personal to me, right? When I'm reading tarot for myself, I can quite easily be very biased in that I can lean towards seeing the positive side of the cards. I'm going to turn off this light because it's making a big glare. When I read tarot for myself, I can often, like I say, I can read it overly positive. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm completely incapable of reading it properly for myself. That's not what I'm saying, but it does take a bit of extra effort, Like being objective is difficult. Like being objective when it comes to yourself is difficult, and anyone who tells you it's not is, well, I find it difficult, put it that way. But what I've found is that using reversals, I find it a lot more I find it a lot easier to be objective and to, like, so when cards are coming up, I find it easier to see the negatives in them, particularly in like reverse cards, even in upright cards when I know I'm reading reversals, because I tend to read a wee bit differently when I'm using reversals. Like I'll read the upright a bit different if I know that I'm reading the deck with reversals in it. So it's been interesting. So it has, and I've actually quite enjoyed it. And I would urge people to try it. I'm not saying like it doesn't have to. You don't need to do it forevermore, and you don't need to go and shuffle reversals into every single deck you've got. I've only got one deck, I think, that's got reversals shuffled into it. And it's the Wiser Tarot. It's the one that I use for timing readings, which I need reversals in it for that. But yeah, that's something that I've been doing this week. And what I've also been doing, and again, if Scott's still here, I've been working with the Heindel Tarot, because me and Simon next week, I think, Simon, isn't it? We are going to be doing a Throwback Thursday on the Heindel Tarot. And so I've been kind of trying to work with it, get to know it. And I know Scott recently got it, and the two books, the two Rachel Pollock books. So we're going to, I think we're going to, if we get together and have a wee chat about it, aren't we, Scott? But I've been trying to use this as well. So that's what I've been up to this week. And I suppose the past few weeks since I've seen you last. Let's see. So unsubscribed. Just ordered the Tarot of Oppositions to help with reversal reading. It's been shipped and arriving Saturday morning. You'll be reading the Thoth next. As long as you're not using reversals with the Thoth, then I'm good. Well, how come? What's the deal with using reversals with the Thoth? Or do you kind of like not really like reversals and not really like the Thoth? So those two things together would just fuck the thing up. Is that what you mean? Used to use reversals, but I stopped a couple of years ago. I feel I'm being biased. If I feel I'm being biased, I put down the cards and pick them up later. Fair enough. Reverse cards equals bad shuffler. Not if you're shuffling them in on purpose. Oops. Right, where are we for time? We're on 1:45. I'm going to finish off this tea. The hell was that? Okay, I'm not finishing off that tea because I don't know what that was. I'm going to move on to my cider. So again, for anyone who wasn't in before, this is non-alcoholic strawberry and lime cider. It is vegan and gluten-free apparently, and it's delicious. I adore the thoth. Use elemental dignities with the thoth. It's one of my soapbox topics. I've got so much I need to learn from you, Mary. And I was saying to Mary, and she needs to do a course on astrology, and in particular astrology within tarot. I can kind of fumble my way through bits of it, but I would like to understand more. Jonathan says, when I was taught tarot back a million years ago, my teacher was very adamant about how important reversals were for readings. Only since I found YouTube have I stopped using reversals for readings. Fair enough. I mean, I think it's each to their own, isn't it? Like, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You do whatever works for you. Oh, that was the thing I was going to do. I was going to just show you the ones from the Arthurian tarot that I'm going to look up. So right now, where does it stop? I think it's that. Yes, so the Nine of Cups. I don't understand why he's looking at a wee comb. I just don't get it. And I know there will be a perfectly good explanation for it when I read the book, but that's the point. I need to read the book and understand what's going on there. The Ten of Wands feels more like a Knight of Swords to me. It looks like Rapunzel trapped up in the tower. Doesn't really say Ten of Wands to me, so I'm going to look that one up. Seven of Cups, I'm not sure if that's Morgana the Fae and she's kind of putting a spell on, the townsfolk. So I kind of do get that to a degree. I mean, the Seven of Cups can be about fantasy. It can be about illusion. It can indicate that you're not seeing the reality for what it is. Do you know what I mean? So from that point of view, if she's kind of putting some sort of spell on these people, then I suppose that fits in with that. But I want to look it up and understand more. The Four of Cups looks more Five of Cups to me. I mean, I get it. Obviously, he's offering help and he's not seeing it or appreciating it. So it does have Four of Cups vibes, kind of. But again, I'd like to look that up. The Seven of Swords, I suppose he does look a wee bit, he's got a bit of a devious look about him. Almost looks like he might be hiding that dagger. So maybe it is just a straightforward Seven of Swords. But again, I want to look it up. I want to make sure that I'm understanding what I'm seeing. The Seven of Discs. Yeah, I want to look it up. It looks more like a Nine of Discs to me, to be honest. So I want to look up and see if there's anything behind it that I'm not quite understanding. The Eight I mean, it could be trapped by whatever this stuff is, which I suppose would make sense, but Three of Wands I really don't get at all. We see someone being knighted, not really sure why, how that's given us Three of Wands vibes. Oh, sorry, Jen. This is the Arthurian Tarot, or the Tarot Arthurian by Claire Duvall, and the illustrations are by Anna Turian. The Nine of Wands. I just want to look that up. I think this might be something to do with the character that we see here. So I just want to kind of look that one up. And then finally, the Six of Swords. I really don't get that. Like a storybook within a tree, or a spell book, or some kind of book within a tree. I'm not sure. I don't understand it. So those are the cards that I'm going to make a point in looking up. And once I understand them, I think I'll be perfectly comfortable reading with the deck. And don't get me wrong, like, I mean, I could pick up any deck and I have a basic knowledge of the tarot, so I could read with it and just read my normal interpretations for those different cards. But I really don't like... I don't like interpreting a card in a particular way if the image says something completely different. So, like, the reason that I moan about the Solabusca Three of Swords with a heart and the three swords through it is because I really don't like reading that card as being about heartbreak and emotional pain, because to me, it's not an emotional... So the emotional pain is in the Five of Cups. So I find it particularly difficult to pull that card and start talking about growth of the mind, you know? And it's all... So I feel as though whenever I see that, I'm always relating it to when that process is painful, you know? When it's the growth pains type thing, when it's tough truths. But I don't think that card should always be about that. But I feel like I'm being silly if I start talking about... If I pull like a heart with three swords through it, and I'm like, oh, you're going to learn so much stuff. You're going to go to the library and you're going to take out books and you're going to read them and learn things, and you just feel silly doing that, you know? So I do like to understand the image that I'm seeing, and I like to relate it to... I like to understand what the intention is, and I like to be able to relate it. So, yeah. Tony says, I stopped reading reversals a short while ago. I just don't like upside down cards, but oppositions eliminates that, so I thought I'd give it a try. Cool. See... That about nuts. Is that with the comb? Maybe he loves his hair. The Nine of Wands looks like a knight. It could be a knight who's been through a lot, yeah. You can suffer pain in your mind. Yep. Depression and other mental disorders can be crippling. Yeah, they can. They can. But again, the 5 is the more unstable number to me. So I could see it in the Five of Swords. I can see it in the Three of Swords too. Like I say, you know, learning new stuff, coming to new realizations and new truths can often be a painful process. So I do get it, but it's not always. So, anyway. Heart rule in the head, yeah. The Three of Swords can be your question for me on Sunday. This is Marion planting questions for our Coven Corner talk. I was just talking about that, Marion. I was plugging for all of us, really. For me, you, Sarah, Mary as well. Mary's one of the other girls that's reading downstairs. And Scott that's here. Are you still here, Scott? I'm not sure if he's still here, but Scott that was here earlier on, Marion, he's going to be there too. He's coming down to me for a reading, and then we're going to come to your Coven Corner talk. So yeah, that'll be good. Right, shall we do the spread? I'm going to use the Cosmic Wisdom Tarot by Ethany for the spread. Now, the spread's actually quite cool. It's based on the Wheel of Fortune, like I say. It's only 4 cards. Let me make sure that... Yeah, we're good. Just making sure that I'm only putting 1 Lover's card into the deck, because we don't want to have 2 Lover's cards in the deck, do we? Although I know that there are some individuals here who would have 2 Lovers cards in their deck, and they wouldn't think twice about it. Moran's got to go. Bye, everyone. Bye, Chris. Have a nice evening. Thanks very much for being here, Moran. It was lovely to see you. Who's all pulling cards with me, by the way? Because I can't just be doing it myself, can I? I'm going back. Oh, Naomi's pulling cards with me. Going back in time and using the Dirty Palm. Very nice. 78 cards and only 78 cards. I will not be moved on this. Yeah, to be honest, I'm kind of the same, Marion. I don't like having extra cards in my decks. What is your view, by the way, on significators? Marion, do you use significators? Do you have any strong feelings about it? Jonathan throws in all the extra cards. In Tarot of the Abyss, I kept both 10 of Swords and both 3 of Swords in, but I don't usually keep extra Lovers cards. Yeah, in this deck, the only reason there's 2 Lovers cards is because one of them's got nudity and one of them is they're kind of a covered up. So one of them you see all the interesting bits and one of them you don't. The guy in the Lovers card has got massive balls in this, by the way. I was seeing if I could easily find it, but he's hiding his massive balls. But yeah, he really does. Does anyone else think that? Like, did anyone else think that when they first saw this? What's this spread called? This is from the Total Tarot magazine, part 26. No, that's not a 6. Part 28. The spread is called The Wheel of Fortune 1. Jonathan's using Tarot of Echoes. Midnight Unicorn is using the Zombie Tarot. Jen nearly spat out her coffee. Maybe the guy will make an appearance at some point through the spread. The Oracle Tarot for Tony. Marion says with significators, it depends on the context. Fair enough. I feel funny about removing a card from the deck. That's my only reason I'm not really too keen on them. Then again, in 78 Degrees, Rachel says by removing one, you leave 77 cards. And that's like a magical number because it's 7 times 11. But still. So I should probably tell you a wee bit about the spread. So it says the spread is designed to help querents face a big change or significant event by allowing them to see the energy that flows. To see the energy flows that might influence their lives and to understand how to relate to them. It's actually saying in the description to use the major arcana, but I'm using majors and minors. I have no intention of going through this now and taking out all the minors. So let's see. It's a big long description for each one, but there are only... I said 4, there's 5. Sorry, there's 5 cards because there's a centre card. So it's based on the characters in the Wheel of Fortune. You know how the whole I reign, I have reigned, I will reign type thing? It's based on that. I'm going to give these a wee riffle shuffle. Oops. Just looking a little bit at the top. Okay, so the first spread position is I reign. So it says this card represents the energy or the situation that has the greatest influence on the querent's life at the present time. As this energy lies at the top, it concerns the aspect of their life that is destined to change. If it's something that they're satisfied with, they may be nervous about or troubled by the thought of imminent change. If, on the other hand, it's something that makes them unhappy, then they will probably embrace a change in the current situation. So basically, we're looking at aspects in the current situation that are probably about to change. Now, for me, we've got the 6 of Wands. For whatever my question was, it's obviously saying right now that you're actually doing pretty well. You should be enjoying the current situation as it is. Now, when we're talking about going in cycles here, right? The 6 of Wands becomes the 7 of Wands. And when the 6 becomes the 7, for me, that's when you start being tested, you know? People start noticing you and start wanting to compete against you. But the 7 of Wands isn't a bad situation. So as much as this is saying that your 6 of Wands such is maybe subject to change, to me, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And it's all part of the natural cycle. So 6 of Wands for me. What did you guys get? Okay, so I should be putting in this. So I reign is the first spread position. Okay, so Tony, you've got the 3 of Cups. So you're quite similar to me in that you seem to, whatever the question is, if you've asked about a particular situation, right now you find yourself, you're having quite an enjoyable time. Maybe there's a bit of a worry that, that can't last forever. The novelty's bound to wear off at some point. Maybe that's why you've been asked to think about 3. So, what is it about the current situation that you're particularly enjoying? Is there something you can do to preserve that, to hold on to, at least those kind of bonds and relationships that you're forming? Because there might come a time, if again talking in cycles, the next is the 4, there might come a time where you're maybe feeling a wee bit more distanced and a wee bit turned off by, whatever the situation is to become. But I think it's important to remember the bonds that are formed in the 3, and to appreciate them and to hang on to them. Midnight Unicorn, you've got the Emperor. So pretty much in control of the situation right now. Now, what's interesting, when we look at the Fool's journey, the High Priestess, the Empress is kind of that mother, nurturing, maternal energy. You would then get the Emperor. Everything's very kind of even like the High Priestess, the High Priestess kind of as when the Fool comes to her, she kind of acts as like a barrier. She's a guardian between the Fool and that full whack of moon energy that's behind her. The Fool, she protects him from being hit with the full energy of the unconscious. Everything that he learns from the Empress and the Emperor is all very down to earth, very, very empirical, very scientific. It's not until you get to the Hierophant when you're asked to actually have faith, you're asked to kind of just trust the universe a wee bit, to believe in something that you maybe can't easily understand, or that doesn't kind of quite come as naturally to you. So it feels like maybe right now, you're king of your world, or you're master of your world, and maybe it's going to get to a point where, again, if these things are subject to change, you might get to a point where you maybe don't feel as in control, or you don't feel like you understand everything the way that you want to. So Naomi's got the Hermit, and you see that as a change in finances. Jonathan, you've got the 7 of Wands. So, I mean, different people will feel the 7 of Wands in different ways. For some people, it can be empowering. To me, the 7 of Wands is kind of like your exams. It's like your high school exams. If you've done the work, if you've studied well, then you'll thrive. You may actually find it quite enjoyable, if you really know your stuff, because it's a chance to demonstrate what you've learned. If, on the other hand, you've maybe not, you don't know your stuff, or maybe it is just one of those things where, I always found English exams really difficult because you can't really study for that. You're just either good at it or you're not. And unfortunately, I wasn't really. So it depends. To me, the 7 of Wands is like that. It's kind of a dependent on how you're taking it. But I suppose no matter what, the change that happens, the next kind of stage of the process is the 8 of Wands. It's like a lot of energy coming at you. So maybe right now you're in a situation where when that kind of moves along, when that changes, there's going to be a lot happening at once. And, well, let's just hope that those ones are all flying in your favour. Kristen Louise is here. Hi, Kristen. Kristen got the Lust card. Very nice. How are you reading that, Kristen? So Lust is that kind of like from the Thoth system. It's the Strength card in your more traditional systems. So to me, that's about having confidence. I have no clue what we're doing, so no clue. Right, okay. from the ritual tarot, right? Okay. So the spread position is Irene. This is based on the Wheel of Fortune. So the first position is Irene, and it represents the energy or the situation that has the greatest influence on your life at the present time. This energy is at the top of the wheel, concerns the aspect of the life that is destined to change. So the thing that has the most influence right now, and something that's maybe subject to change. And we're just kind of brainstorming how we might feel about that change when it happens, you know. Jonathan's birthday is September 7th, and I spent it in isolation with my third round of COVID. Oh no. Oh, I didn't realise, Jonathan. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you feeling better now? I think I'm more in the reverse right now, says Midnight Unicorn. The reverse Emperor, you mean? Nikki's here. Hi, Nikki. How you doing? Sorry, I'm late to the party. Hope everyone is doing well. No, don't worry about it. Loved my English exam. I wrote a short story about a tarot card reader on death row. Have you still got it? I'd love to read that. I see the last cards as an expression of passion. Okay. Okay, the next one is I reigned, past tense. So I'll put that in the chat before I read it out. I reigned. And my second card is the Magician. So, I reigned. The card in this position symbolises the energy that, although it is no longer present in the Queen's life, still has some influence on it. The reader must pay careful attention to the sort of reaction that this card provokes in the querent. There are several possible reasons for a negative reaction here. It may be that the card represents an important unresolved issue, or one or more life lessons that haven't been learned, or an emotional burden that is making it difficult for them to move on to the next stage. So it's something that's no longer present in the querent's life, but it still influences it. Okay. So moving away from this, but it's still influencing the situation. So, I mean, we can see how having all of the skill and the tools that the magician has would influence and make the current situation really successful, victorious, that kind of thing. We can definitely see that. There must be a reason, though, that the magician is in the past. I'm calling this the past. It's the energy that we're moving away from. I suppose the magician is linked to the number 1, so it does talk about potential as a beginning. So we've moved away from the beginning, from the being inspired to use the tools, and now we seem to be in a place where we're actually victorious and we're using them. So it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully this is going in a nice arc, and we're hopefully what I will reign, which is what the next card is a nice one. But we shall see. Nikki says, I'm good, thank you. It was my 40th on the 22nd, so I'm feeling old. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realise. I would have said happy birthday to you if I knew. You do not look fucking 40 at all. I thought you were younger than me. Tony's got the Chariot. Okay, so moving away from... So the Chariot, moving in a particular direction, driving your life forward, using your willpower, maybe kind of working hard to sort out the different intricacies that life throws at us in order to kind of move forward. Let me just remember what your first card was, Tony. Was it the Three of Cups? So you've worked hard for that enjoyment that you're experiencing right now in the Three of Cups. That's not come for free. You've worked hard to get yourself to a place, where you can enjoy that time. I was prescribed. You're good now. Okay. Had to deal with the nasty side effects. Okay. That sounds nasty. Eight of Pentacles. So again, someone else has worked hard to get to where they are. What was your first card was the Emperor, right? Okay, so Eight of Pentacles is the kind of demonstrating a lot of skill, a lot of perseverance, working really hard in order to perfect your craft. And then the Emperor, literally the kind of the king in the tarot, the ruler. Someone who is in complete control of every aspect. They wield the 4 elements. They're linked to the number 4 for that reason, I think. So you've again, that's not been handed to you on a silver platter. You've worked hard to get to where you are there. Three of Wands, no clue, says Kristen. Okay. So the Three of Wands, and again, I don't know the deck that you're reading with, so I don't know what the Three of Wands looks like. If it's a typical Thoth, then probably be linked to Aries. It'll be something in Aries, Venus in Aries, maybe. I'm not sure. I think it's virtue is the key word. I know it's not the Thoth you're using. You said it was a different one, but if strength is lust, then it may still have those kind of a Golden Dawn keywords. So yeah, I guess it will depend on like what's on the actual card and as to how that's leading into your lust card. Maybe I'm feeling stuck. So your Three of Wands is the energy that you've moved away from. It might still be influencing your current situation, but you've moved away from it. Chariot makes sense for Tony. Retired and life stopped moving forward. Right, okay. Page of Swords, moving away from the learning phase and into the action phase with the Seven of Wands. Yeah, right, okay. Okay, that makes sense. But if the Seven of Wands is the current energy, then you're still being tested in whatever way. Six of Wands, I am no longer in control, so can't see victory, says Naomi. What was your first card, Naomi? It was the Hermit, right, okay. Midnight Unicorn says, welcome to the 40 Club, to Nikki. Kristen turned 47 in November. Oh, you turn 47 in November, feeling really old. You don't look it. Just turned 49, so I totally understand, says Jonathan. Oh, Jonathan, the big 5-0 next year. Exciting stuff. The card has an Egyptian statue head with an eye on its forehead. Interesting. So I think of the Three of Wands as a card of action, of taking action, of just getting out there and doing it. Both quite fiery cards as well, So we'll see what comes up next for you. The next card is I Will Reign. Three is I Will Reign. So this card indicates the new energy linked to the forthcoming important event. Once again, the reader should be attentive to the reaction, positive or negative, that the querent has when faced with this card. In some ways, this card, together with the fifth, is the most important in the spread and the one of greatest interest to the querent. So it indicates the new energy linked to the forthcoming important event. Okay. So for me, it's the Knight of Cups. Okay, so we're moving in a positive direction. Interestingly, both of these are kind of on horseback. This is more kind of it's a wands card, so it's more passion driven. It's more purpose driven. Whereas here, it's more of a kind of an emotional thing. Although the Knight of Cups is typically on like a quest of sorts. Could also see that's because they're going in different directions. This could be an offer coming in. Someone's offering a cup. So, and that, I mean, if someone else is influencing the situation, that could definitely that could have an impact. That would be a change. That would be something else that would influence it. So that's quite interesting. And I really like that energy for the kind of a thing that I've got in mind that I was thinking about. Let's see. So Tony's got the Ace of Wands. Oh, so something new. So you've retired, you're loving life with your Three of Cups, and then you've got the Ace of Wands. So some sort of new opportunity is going to come up for you. That's exciting. And definitely, like you've changed suit from cups to wands. So it does look like a big change, doesn't it? But remember, with the it's an ace, so it will only get as big as what. In fact, because we're talking about the Ace of Wands, let's rephrase that. But the point that I'm making is aces have got to be nurtured in order to become this big thing, this big deal. Not every opportunity has to be taken up. So if you're sitting there quite happy and enjoying your retirement and like, no, I'm sorry, but take your wand elsewhere, sir. I don't want, I'm not interested. Then I think that's your choice. That's your prerogative. Four of Cups for Midnight Unicorn, right? Okay. So you had the Eight of Pentacles. You'd worked hard for the Emperor. Okay. So a lot of work's gone in, very much in control of things, and then we have the Four of Cups coming out. So there's maybe a bit of it does feel that there's a disconnect there, doesn't there? It feels like there's something that happens. And I said earlier on, I think when I was talking to Tony about his Three of Cups, sometimes it can be something as simple as like the novelty of the situation is worn off, or it could be something about the situation shifts and it just makes you feel differently about it. But it definitely feels like there's something like that happening there, doesn't it? So maybe you would want to, if this is making sense to you and you can see this does like genuinely reflect where you see the situation going, then maybe you would want to kind of look into that aspect of it further. So right, what is it that's turning this from an Emperor situation into a Four of Cups? What's making that happen? How much control do I have over it? What can I actually do to influence that and to maybe bring in a bit more of an enjoyable kind of a lighter energy to it? Kristen, you've got the Magician. Okay. So, I mean, they're all quite positive cards. That all feels quite nice. Moving forward, again, you're moving into like a 1. The Magician is like a 1, so it feels like maybe like a new situation coming up. Jen says she's got to go, must get going. and begin my day. Awesome to catch you live. Sending big love to all. It's lovely to see you, Jen. Thanks very much for being here. Jonathan has the Queen of Swords. So that feels like it's telling a very consistent story for you, Jonathan. You've gone from, I think it was the Page of Swords, that was learning new stuff. The Seven of Wands being tested, and then the Queen of Swords being like the teacher passing down the knowledge. Page of Cups for Naomi. Hopefully the positive news continues. Hopefully, Naomi. We've all got our fingers crossed. In the fourth position, I do not reign. I do not reign. So my fourth card is the Four of Swords. That's a beautiful Four of Swords, isn't it? I do love a good Aurora Borealis. So this card reveals the energy missing from the past, current, or future situation. The absence of an element can be just as important as its presence. It can, in fact, highlight an imbalance in the querent's life or a potential source of distraction. Right, okay. So for me, this is a failure to stop and actually just take things in. A failure to pause, a failure to rest, but not just like, you're not looking after yourself, you need to rest more. It's not just that. It's like we need to just stop and let things just evaluate, take time to appreciate what we've learned, consolidate learning. That's it, consolidate. We need to take time to stop and consolidate things. If you're constantly on the go, then, which, I'm really guilty of this, I'll keep myself busy all the time, constantly doing things, but it means that I forget, and it means that I come up against the same problems time and time again because I'm not taking the time to appreciate the learnings that I've had from when I dealt with that the first time around. Do you know what I'm saying? So what's missing for me is actually just stopping and taking a moment, taking a pause, and just reflecting on everything that's happened. Simple as that. Reflect on what's happened. I always think to myself, maybe I should keep a journal or a diary or something, and I've never ever done it. But I sometimes think it would be interesting, like to keep a diary and then to go back, like maybe like a year later, and read what you wrote. Although I absolutely cringe when my old Facebook posts come up on let's see these memories from 10, 15 years ago of stuff that I've posted on Facebook. It's an absolute embarrassment, so it is. So maybe I wouldn't enjoy that as much, but yeah, I sometimes think it'd be interesting to keep a journal. Tony has the Lovers. Okay. So what is missing? The way that I read the Lovers, I would interpret that as what you're not doing is putting yourself first. What you're not doing is choosing yourself every once in a while. What you're doing is, what you've done traditionally, you've done because it's either the accepted thing to do, the traditional thing to do, or like the kind of the sensible, the normal path. Sometimes the lovers is where we ask us sometimes to stop, and rather than follow that traditional route that's been carved out for us, that our head kind of tells us to go. Sometimes we need to choose our heart. We need to go with our heart. We need to go with our desires. We need to put ourselves first, really. So I would interpret that way, but I know that's a bit an odd interpretation from me for the Lovers. So yeah, I'd be interested in what you think about that, Tony. The Wheel of Fortune for Kristen. The Wheel of Fortune says, I read the Wheel of Fortune as being like about chaos, like change that happens just because it happens, not for any particular reason. There's like a disconnect between, there's no cause that's led to the effect, so that's quite an unusual. Again, maybe it'd be helpful to see what it looks like. But yeah, I'm struggling with your spread today, aren't I, Kristen? Knight of Wands for Jonathan. Right, okay. So your cards, particularly your page and your queen, very mindful, very demure, very mindful. I think that's a TikTok thing. But it's very intellectual is what I'm saying. And maybe what's missing is that kind of a spontaneous, passionate Knight of Wands. I'm just going to get up and burn some energy just because. Whatever this endeavor is, you need to get fired up about it. You need to get lit up about it. You need to get passionate about it and really connect to it, not just on an intellectual level, not just understand what it is that you're talking about, but it needs to get real for you. It's that spark that's missing. The Knight of Swords makes a change. I usually get the Four of Swords. It's my stalker. Right, okay. So let me just remind myself. You had the Four of Cups. So yeah, you had the Emperor. You had the kind of was it the Chariot, the Emperor, and then the Four of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so maybe it's the opposite from Jonathan. Maybe it's a failure to fully understand. Like everything's running on like fire energy. Everything's running on passion. And it seems to work to a point, but there seems to be a point where that becomes the Four of Cups, and maybe what's missing is actually that that taking putting the hours into it, taking the time to to understand it, or whatever the situation might be. But that real kind of an intellectual journey type thing. I feel like I'm just saying random things now. The Eight of Cups for Naomi. She said the Page of Cups, hopefully the positive news continues. And then what is missing is the Eight of Cups. Oh, wait, no. Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands. So Eight of Wands is a very high energy card. There's lots and lots of of fire being put into that situation. I mean, if that's what's missing, then there might be a good reason for that, Naomi. And maybe it's meant to be missing, Me too, says Kristen. I read the Lovers at face value, single for far too. Okay, right. Okay, fair enough. Have a hard time finding the energy for much, thanks to long COVID that got re-triggered a third time round. Okay. Going quite fast. Right, okay, so things are moving fast. Sometimes feel with the Eight of Wands, it's great when that energy is going in your favor and you're riding those wands and things are moving, things are moving on the up. But sometimes you're on the other side of that and all that stuff's flying at you. It can be really overwhelming. I think I have so much going on in my head, like ideas that I grow disenchanted, which could relate to the Four of Cups and the Knight of Swords, right? Okay. Sometimes as well, like, so just, I know it's a swords, but knights, just knights generally are, they're the action that, so pages are like the new ideas, it's like the novelty of the stuff, it's the, it's the sexy stuff, the stuff that interests us and grabs our fancy. But it takes a lot of staying power to actually take those ideas and make them into something. And that's where the knights come in. The knights represent the work of the suit, the action of the suit. They're the worker bees. And they're the ones that take those ideas, those kind of things that are started by the pages and actually make them into something. So if you're saying that you have ideas, but then you can sometimes grow, you can become disenchanted, then that's what it means, is that what's missing is that night energy to kind of take the thing and actually, make it happen. The final card, the fifth card, is the center card. I don't know why I closed that there. So the center, this card, I'll put the, there's my mouse that's there. And my center card is the Six of Swords. This card suggests something that will not change in the querent's life. It is a fixed aspect of their personality or existence that will help them to stay calm in the face of the change that awaits them. It's important and necessary that the querent has an anchor that they can rely on, because it means they won't feel cast adrift and overwhelmed by events. So firstly, we'll usually see someone offering someone else assistance in the Six of Swords. So I am very much anchored by and, centered by, grounded by my family, my husband, the people around about me, the people that I care about. I do try and stay, like sixes are harmony and swords are the mind, so mental harmony. I do try and stay balanced. I try and be mindful of when I'm not so balanced, and I try and keep just keep an eye on that. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's that is my center. I think this is mostly relating to the people that help me, to be honest with you. What have you folks got? Tony's got the Four of Wands. So you're I suppose that can sometimes be seen as being like the home card. So your safe space, your home, where you go at the end of the day to recharge and stuff. That's where you're grounded. That's what grounds you. That's your safe space. Six of Pentacles for Midnight Unicorn. So another harmony card. Five of Pentacles for Jonathan. Okay. So Five of Pentacles makes us question the things that we value in life. I think the lesson in the Five of Pentacles is, well, if you think of like the Four of Pentacles as maybe being a wee bit, is where, you know, the person is a bit too attached to the material stuff. The Five of Pentacles is a bit of a shock because of that, you know, because that material stuff gets taken away, you know. There's that imbalance, there's that material upset. But I think the lesson that's there, and the thing that we need to learn and go through with the Five of Pentacles, is to realise that maybe some of the stuff that we try and cling on to isn't as important as what we, you know, it doesn't have the value that we assign to it. Or, you know, conversely, it only has that value because we've assigned it. It's not that doesn't necessarily mean that that it is that valuable. But the true value lies within, I guess, is the albeit cheesy but lesson of the Five of Pentacles. So as much as there might be a lot of stuff going on around about you, Jonathan, you've got everything that you need within you. You know, the things that keep you grounded is within you. And the connections that you've got, the stuff that you really truly value in life. Nine of Cups for Naomi. Just need to keep working on my well-being. It was a jumper. Oh, when you said jumper, I thought like a jumper. Like having to replace socks and underwear on a regular basis. What? Like having to replace socks and underwear on a regular basis? Why are you having to replace your socks and underwear on a regular basis? Are you consistently shitting yourself and have to buy new pants? What's going on? I'm not sure I'm understanding, Jonathan. Marilyn is late. Don't you worry, Marilyn. We are just finished the spread. We're probably going to wrap up. But thanks very much for popping in. It's lovely to see you. We're all laughing and probably now wondering what Jonathan's talking about, having to replace his socks and underwear. Don't keep us in suspense, Jonathan. We're not going anywhere until you tell us what you're doing with your pants. I'm just being cheeky about the material world degrading and having to replace things. Well, I mean, there are certain things that, you know, there are certain standards that must be upheld, Jonathan. Please do change your pants on a daily basis. Don't think that just because I'm talking all airy-fairy and esoteric and, the true value lies within. The true value does lie within, but it also lies in a good, well-laundered wear of briefs. So you make sure that you that you keep things clean and tidy, and yeah. And Marilyn, I'm so sorry that you've walked in on this. We're talking about Jonathan's pants. Jonathan says, I shower 1 to 2 times a day. Well, good for you, but still, you should be wearing a fresh pair of pants every day, young man. Yeah, Jonathan, keep it tidy. Pants and poo, says Midnight Unicorn. Poor Jonathan. Marilyn says hygiene is important. It sure is. Jonathan says, who puts on dirty clothes after a shower? Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Anyway, that was a nice note to end on. We should end every live by having a discussion about Jonathan's pants. Right, remember, for anyone who's local, I'm reading at the Glasgow Witchy Bazaar on Sunday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Haberdashery. So if you're local, then please do pop in and say hi. Subscribe to my friend Errol Meister on YouTube. If you're local, have a look at Salon Revitalise. And take care, everyone. Have an amazing weekend. Thanks very much for being here. It's been great fun. Jonathan, you go and change your pants, and we shall love you and leave you. See you all later. Bye, everyone.